How we doing, folks? Today I wanted to talk to a certain group of people. There's a lot of them out there. The reverse pivot people. A lot of you know who I'm talking about. Anytime you see a golfer who swings somewhat like this, where their body's kind of going away, but their weight is still staying forward, or they take the club and the head drops a lot, and they're swinging and their head is working back, I consider that a reverse pivot person, okay? And I see it with little kids sometimes. I see it with adults. So this is something that's prevalent with all golfers. And a lot of times with my young kids, and even with some of my clinics that I do with adults, I'll have you put the club down, and I'll have you put your hands out, and I'll tell you to walk like a zombie. And what I mean by that is I want you to get the sensation and understanding that your weight isn't going backwards and forward at the same time. We want to get everything working back and forward, and getting our body to sequence the right way, okay? Obviously, we're not lifting our feet in our golf swing, and we have rotation when we're swinging, but this sensation right here will get your weight to gradually get into the correct position and get you to feel a different feeling than what you're used to in your golf swing, okay? So that's an introduction to that. Now, with the golf club in your hand, a great drill or a way that I get people to feel that is I'll have you take your stance and your setup, and instead of you taking your normal swing where you have all this pressure on this foot, we really work on you feeling like you can lift your front foot up, okay? So I'll have you take the club to the top of your backswing and see if you can lift your front foot up. Now, we want to move, but we want our weight to shift, but we don't want our body to really move outside of what you guys hear me talk about all the time, the box, right? We want to stay maintained, stacked over the golf ball, and we want to make sure we're rotating with those big elements and using our lever system correctly. So a lot of times, if I get you to feel like your foot can be lifted, that front foot, you learn how to feel that gradual weight shift going back, okay? Another thing with this, once you feel that correct feeling of getting the weight back, and actually I'll get to this here in a second, I may have you try to hit golf balls that way. Now I see some people that have you move back and then move forward into the golf ball. And sometimes I use that drill because it really is good with weight shift. But my only thing with that is that it's so much about timing, and golf is difficult when our feet aren't moving, and to move your foot so much in and out really gives us time to do what? Get all of that body ahead before our lever system gets started, and we have very, very bad misses, and it doesn't really teach us the right thing. So instead, I rather have you feel like from the top of your swing, you're lifting your foot up, but you're keeping the orientation of where it started, okay? So from here, give you an example. I'm going to go ahead and hit one here. And then get into a good follow through. I just feel like moving this way gives most golfers a sense that they have to do something to get back to the golf ball. Just like the guy who's doing this, or the girl that's doing this, or the junior golfer that's moving this way, they have to do something this way in order to make contact with the golf ball, okay? So lifting the foot is better. One more thing with this. As we learn to shift that weight back, I use a noodle for this. Sometimes I use a head cover. You can use pretty much anything. But I like to put a noodle in front of that, or on underneath that lead foot. So as I take my setup here, put it right on the ball of the foot. Okay. And from here, once again, we're working on the feel of being able to lift this foot if possible. But now that we got that right feel, now we got to learn how to shift that weight without moving laterally, without feeling like we're trying to get back ahead of the golf ball, okay? So from here, you're feeling like you're pinching the noodle as you're swinging down through the golf shot and trying to get to a finished position. Okay, I really like this. This is a great thing. I've seen other instructors use it, and if you can get in the habit of feeling this as the club is dropping, you're going to really understand the proper weight shift without having too much lateral movement in your golf swing. Okay, now with my daughters and my young people, and once again, guys, we're inside, right? So how do you make something like that fun for a young golfer, a junior golfer? I use one of their stuffed animals. This is my buddy SpongeBob right here. And I would do the same thing, right? Even if they have their socks on and whatever we're doing, you know, but I can use that just like I use the Noodle, you know, have them put their ball of their foot on the top of that, take their setup and stance, and get to the top of their swing, squeeze down, and swing forward, okay? So that's a great, great way to work on shifting back down and through the golf ball. All right. So for all you guys that are reverse pivot people, it's something to think about. And I don't want to scare you. There are guys on tour that I consider reverse pivot people, right? The tendency is with most of them that their golf swing is shorter because if it's longer, you're getting in a position where timing becomes difficult. So if you have that type of move and you have more of a short swing, you may be able to make contact. J.B. Holmes comes to mind. I'm trying to think of some other guys. Calvin Pete a little bit, right? Where this back leg is straightening out and, you know, the club is getting all the way up. But if he moves any more forward, he's not the Mr. Accuracy that we all know and love, right? So that's a couple of examples of some of it we've seen with people that have success. But I think that it limits your distance potential because once again, all of your energy isn't necessarily, it's not necessarily working towards the target altogether. You have elements as your lower body may be working forward, you have other parts that are working back. And that makes that very difficult to be consistent with, create power with, and you're putting a lot of strain on your body when you're swinging like that, okay? So, little help. You guys take it easy. Look for more videos. Remember, if you have any questions, concerns, please feel free to comment. And thanks for watching.